Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on the time you are watching this. I've been having network issues, but I don't know. I pray I'm able to fix it very soon. But we have this pattern already. You can just scroll down to our videos and you'll see how to make this slide. I had already drawn the pattern and this is us fixing the fancy. Now in our other pattern, we actually fix the fancy on the good face before, will I say, the lining process. But this one, we just went right ahead into fixing this fancy to the upper because we had already lined it. Now why I'm doing this one is because I will still go right ahead into sewing the pattern. So I didn't want to go through the route of, will I say, fixing the fancy on the good face or the upper before the learning process. So this is what we are trying to achieve. What I'll just do here is I will just apply iodide to just, will I say, secure the edge before we go right ahead into the sewing process. Now before we do that, when you are trying to make this pattern, making the pattern comes in sizes. If you make it too big for a size, will I say for a size 40, 43, the slide will look very awkward. I actually made something like this for a 43. It was looking very awkward. The mistake I made was that I did not, will I say, reduce, that's this toe area. I didn't reduce it, so it was looking very awkward. But when I tried this same pattern on a size 44, 45, it came out beautifully well. Like, I loved how the curve was and everything. So after making such pattern, make sure you don't make it too big, especially when you are making it for a small sized person. But if it's for a bigger size, it's okay. But if it's for a small size, I think you should just narrow it a little, that when it comes to this one at your toe area, so that it can look fitted for the customer. And for the material I used in this slide, I used a regular fiance. But the fun part of it is I got a design green kind of fiance to use. I used a regular fiance. For the lining, I used fiance as well, not leather, fiance. Since we are not sewing the upper to the lining, make sure you get a very good fiance so that after your gumming process, it will not have to start, will I say, opening after some time. So this is the sewing process, as you can see in the video. And God, I love this pattern. It came out beautifully well, so neat, and the material just aligned with what I was trying to achieve. Now the design actually came plain though, but yeah, the customer really loved the green designed one I got and he just opted for it. So I had already lasted the pattern, and like I said, I usually apply my gum twice. The first one, I leave it for max, like let's say 20 to 30 minutes under heat, like under the sun. Let it stay very well. Then I apply gum on the insole as well, then on the sole too. So I'm using a Mako 6. I use a Mako 6 because buying fiber, buying Mako 4, it just equates to buying a Mako 6. Mako 6 will also give you that effect that you are trying to look for in a fiber and a Mako 4. So instead of going through the route of cutting a fiber, cutting a Mako 4, just cut your Mako 6. But like I always say, it's my own idea. You can do what works for you. This is just the coupling process of our footwear, and see how it looks. Just see how fine the footwear is coming already. We haven't cleaned it yet, and see how fine it is. Now after coupling such footwear, like I say, if you find any opening around, this is where your iodide comes in. Iodide will just seal up those openings for you. Just make sure the openings are not too much. That is why after cutting your Mako 6, I will always recommend you get a very, let's say, fluffy kind of fiance. A fiance that has weight. That I'm trying to explain to you. Fiance that has weight, so that after wrapping it, adds up to the, let's say, the Mako 6 you are trying to make use of, so that when you try to couple it, the firmness will be there. If it's a lighter fiber, it will show. So try as much as possible to get a very firm, like a fiance that has that can stretch quite a little and has weight. Not really strong though. Make sure it has weight so that when you are wrapping it, it will also give your Mako 6 a little weight. Now when you are coupling it, you will just see the weight on the shoe. It gives a very nice quality to the footwear you are trying to make. So we are practically done with the coupling process, and we are using this called iron last. This iron we are trying to make use of. I bought it in Lugbe, yeah, I bought it in Lugbe, but the issue is it has three hands that you can use to, like say, hammer your footwear. But this particular iron stand, this one you are seeing, always removes. I take it to the welder and it still removes. Guys, I just gave up. But I think this tool that I make use of is quite okay. So this is the end product of our male slide. Can you see it? Now for the edge of the sewing, you will just use little heat, just very little heat, very little fire, to just make sure the edges of that sewing is secured, and you are done. Like, you are practically done. The way this footwear came out, I didn't really use iodite on it because I didn't really see too many openings. But yeah, this is how it looks. And like I said earlier, there is a freehand pattern making video on how you can achieve this pattern in our previous video. You just scroll down and you are going to see it. But yeah, this is how it looks like. Like I always say, if you have any question, you will let me know in the comment section, guys. But for now, I think we are practically done with the pattern. Like I always say, I'm a fan of using ready-made sew for men because of the durability it gives and how solid it will look when the customer finally see the footwear. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate, and bye.